Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Nufftingz Speaks with your host, Nufftingz. Today I want to talk about the gaming industry as a whole. Not just one game, not just one company, gaming in general. Now, if you've watched this channel before, you know I've been playing video games for a very long time. Back in Jamaica, we have a saying, donkey years. That's how long I've been gaming. I'm 42 years old now, and I started when I was about 4 years old. My first console was the NES. I still remember getting it on Christmas morning. There's actually a picture somewhere of me standing beside the Christmas tree holding that Nintendo box, like it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. And honestly, at that moment, it probably was. My first game was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. The same game people still complain is impossible today. What's funny is I could beat it when I was a kid. Now, not a chance. But that's where my gaming journey started. And after nearly 4 decades of playing games, I've noticed something that bothers me. It feels like we've forgotten how to enjoy them. Recently, I've been playing 007 First Light. I've finished it twice. The second playthrough was actually more enjoyable because I understood the mechanics better and wasn't spending the entire game learning controls and systems. Now, before I buy a game, or even after I finish one, I like reading comments. Not headlines, comments. I like seeing what actual players think. And one thing I've noticed is that a lot of people talking about games aren't actually playing them. They're repeating opinions. I heard it was bad. I heard the reviews weren't great. I heard somebody on YouTube didn't like it. And somehow that becomes their opinion too. Listen, I understand money is tight. Games are expensive. Not everybody can buy every game on release day. I get that. But there's a difference between saying, I'm going to wait for a sale, and saying, this game is garbage, without ever touching it. Those are two very different things. In fact, I was talking to some gamers recently during a True Achievement session. Some people said they were waiting for a sale. Fair. Some said they'd wait for Game Pass. Also fair. But then there were people criticizing the game who hadn't played a single minute of it. And that's becoming common in gaming. Now, does 007 First Light have issues? Of course it does. Every game does. For me, there's probably a little too much stealth at times. But here's the difference. I've actually played it. I can explain why I feel that way. That's criticism, not bandwagoning. One thing I find interesting is how people complain that games borrow ideas from other games. Of course they do. Gaming has been around for decades. Every developer grew up playing something. Every creator is inspired by something. 007 First Light clearly has some Hitman DNA in it. And why wouldn't it? It's made by the same studio. That's not a bad thing. Sometimes new ideas come from mixing old ideas together. Look at Fable. People are worried because Playground Games is making it. They're known for racing games. But maybe that's exactly why it'll be interesting. Maybe they'll bring fresh ideas that another studio wouldn't have thought of. Sometimes different perspectives create great games. Another thing I've noticed is that people expect every game to have everything. One guy told me he wasn't interested in James Bond because it didn't have online multiplayer. And I thought to myself, why does everything need multiplayer? Not every game needs PvP. Not every game needs battle passes. Not every game needs ranked modes. Sometimes a game can just be a good single player experience. Spider-Man doesn't need 50 people swinging around Manhattan. James Bond doesn't need a battle royale mode. Some games work because they're focused, and that's okay. then we get into nostalgia. And this might be the biggest issue in gaming today. Every new game gets compared to something from 20 years ago. It's not like GoldenEye. It's not like Halo 3. It's not like San Andreas. Well, of course it isn't. Those games already exist. The funny thing is, I think we sometimes confuse nostalgia with quality. We don't just miss the games. We miss who we were when we played them. We miss having fewer responsibilities. We miss playing with friends after school. We miss not having bills. We miss being kids. That's what we're really chasing. And no modern game can recreate that. Because it's not the game that's changed. It's us. And that's okay. The part that worries me is how negative gaming discussions have become. A trailer comes out, people zoom in on tire textures. People count pixels. People analyze shadows. People decide a game is dead before it even releases. And I sit there wondering, when did we stop having fun? When did gaming become a job? When did every release become a courtroom trial? Because gaming used to be an escape. You had a bad day, you played games. Boss driving you crazy, you played games. Life stressing you out, you played games. Games are supposed to help us forget about problems for a little while. Now, sometimes it feels like people spend more time looking for reasons to hate games than reasons to enjoy them. And honestly, I think we lost something because of that. I'm not saying every game deserves praise. Bad games exist. Broken games exist. Companies deserve criticism when they make mistakes. But criticism and negativity are not the same thing. A game doesn't have to be perfect to be enjoyable. And maybe that's what we've forgotten. Maybe we need to stop letting YouTubers, reviewers, headlines, leaks, and social media decide everything for us. Maybe we should just play the game, watch the movie, experience the thing ourselves, then decide. Because at the end of the day, gaming is supposed to be fun. And sometimes I think we've forgotten that. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.
Another late night chasing down the light for the grind that Nufftingz has to fight against the voices in the static and the noise, finding my